Hello everyone, how you doing today? Thought I'd get another update on this carrier, show you some progress done on it. A little bit of texturing on the exterior in this chunk, and that's in preparation to get some internal areas ready to get out to other authors. Um, as in the inside, quite a bit's been done to this so far here. I'll show you a couple areas here. One, I've kind of worked a lot on the back of the hangar area and actually kind of skinned the walls on most of the hangar at this point. Um, again, lots and lots of room in this ship. A couple things that were added here are some back landing pads that are elevated. Pretty good size too. I can get most SVs that I've built on there. A little tight on some of the biggest ones, but they sort of fit. And I also got the option I could bring out this front row, another block row as well if I really wanted to. But I'll take a little tour through some of the rooms here, and then I'll show you a section that was done by CrazyZ real quick. I'm going to do that one at night because he's got lighting there. So in all these different rooms, some rooms like this is kind of like a storage spot, and it's of course not finished yet. And then there's different floors, and some areas take you up to the engine room, and some areas walk you through this like almost arena style hangar to other chunks of the ship, which obviously is unfinished. And some of these areas actually kind of go up and around to different floors, and it's going to need a heck of a directory assistant in here to tell you where all the different places on the ship are and the multiple floors. Now, what I have started on doing is the engineering section, and this is just started. I wanted to get all the main parts laid out and placed. So I've got like the warp core over here. I've got a core position here. Now I plan on putting some more core positions in the ship in case you want to move the core. Got a shield generator back over here. And I'm trying to keep a lot of these thrusters visible from the inside of the ship as well when I'm doing all this up. But you can kind of see some of the progress on this right now. And these corridors loop around as well to different hallways that kind of run across the ship. And there's different floors of those as well. Like for instance, we're up on the top floor right now, but there's actually like another floor below here on the sides. And that gets up into these larger buildings on the front side, which I'm starting to get these kind of mapped out a little bit. So you got this big room here, and then there's another floor above that, and another floor above that, and that's on this one side. There's just places all over the ship and multiple different floors. I did skin a little bit more of the ceiling in this section. One thing I got to watch, so like I've copied in a chunk from CrazyZ at the time, which is kind of a test experiment, and I didn't finish off this block row at the time when I sent it to him, so when I pasted it back in the ship, it actually blew away all my texturing that I did in this top row all the way across, which is my fault. I should have had that done actually before doing it, so I'm trying not to make that mistake again, cause some extra work. So once he's fully done with the section that's above there, I will have to skin that and change a few blocks around on the bottom side, and then try to correct whatever was up there. But you can kind of see what's been going on, just project after project after project of trying to get some body areas set up and other areas of the ship. And there's lower areas and in between areas, and there's just areas all over the place. Another chunk that I've been kind of getting prepped up here is going to be like the mess hall section. Slash crew quarters, and there's a lot of room to add crew rooms all throughout this section, and then have like a centralized mess hall in here, and this of course joins to all different chunks of the ship as well through elevator systems or just rooms. I was kind of debating on where the farm should go, and I'm thinking that this middle level here might be a good place for it. The problem is though is I got another section above here right now, and I kind of need that finalized, and I need a texture, or this needs to be kind of finalized because there's a floor above there. So it's a little tricky to work with. It really is. It's a learning experience on my part as well. I'm going to switch over to night lighting here in a minute, and just to show you a brief area of the section that CrazyZ has been working on, and it's actually a pretty big area. I don't want to show you too much, but we'll just take a quick walk through here. So at the very front of the ship here, we have a bit of a bowling alley, and kind of see some of the these areas here, and it's really fancy. And I love this like art piece in the middle with the very unusual block design and texturing and everything like that. Just extremely cool. And CrazyZ's area isn't that small either, because it's actually got multiple floors, different hallways and walkways that head around to other parts. Now this isn't fully finished yet either, so he's still kind of working on this, and you can kind of get the idea. Now this is the recreation area of the ship, so it is done up probably differently than a lot of the other parts of the ship. But it's CrazyZ too, so he's going to do his style on getting this area set up. Yeah, I think you get the idea of what this can look like here, and it's getting really quite fancy. So that's just one of bazillions of areas on the ship to do, and I'm trying to bang off like one chunk at a time, but my main priority yet is to get it ready for exporting on different areas of it. And that means I got to texture some body and texture some floors and basically all the adjoining areas around there, or I can't touch those for until the author is done with that section. Like I made the mistake on and didn't have enough block rows textured over here. So yeah, one side effect too is lighting. Lighting only has so much range. Like I dumped a couple lights over here, not fully lit or anything like that, but as soon as you back away a little bit, the lights disappear, but the texture lights do not. And I've been trying to use quite a lot of texture lights, so you see all that stuff from a distance, and I think that will be helpful. But work continues on this, and that's pretty much what I wanted to show you today. It took quite a long time to get all these internal areas like set up, at least on the facing, and define a lot more of the rooms inside. And I still got to evaluate like all the different rooms on this ship, and there's a lot of rooms and spaces. Also, I'm toying with gravity generators right now, trying to figure out where to place them and how many I'm going to need for this ship. Right now I've got a test where I've got 3 gravity generators installed at various places. I got to see if that's going to work out, so I got to take this out to space and see where I got gravity right now, and if that doesn't work, I'm going to have to modify that. But that's another thing I wanted to get in place first before everything else gets done. Yeah, wow, it's definitely been kind of a fun project. It's a big project for sure, but I think it's going to be something pretty cool in the end, especially with a bunch of authors doing like parts of the ship and things like that. Not to mention just the other sides of this thing. Now, on a side note, I've been getting a lot of requests to get the Asteria Destroyer up to Alpha 11, and that is something I plan on looking at. I'm hoping it does not take too long to do this. But this ship I'm a little worried about, and it's not so much because of the weapons on it. Like CPU wise, I'm cool. Uh, even with the even with the RCS in here, it's okay. But I'm concerned about its flying due to the fact that how the thruster arrangement is on this ship when it was built to be 7500 CPU compliant with the old standards. I only put on one big front thruster, and I think that now is going to cause this ship not to fly super well if uh, it doesn't have RCS in it. But at the numbers, how the numbers are, hold on a second, I'm going to dump 4 of these tier 4 blocks in here and just see if that's really all that's needed. And that might be the case. So it's see, this is the problem with this ship. I dumped the CPU blocks in, so we're CPU compliant, but I can't. Oh yeah, I can. Never mind, it does turn. It just took a second there. Okay, well, this ship might be pretty easy to do. This might be the one where I need to keep some RCS in the ship, though. And let's see what this got right now. Been a while. So this has 4 RCS in the ship. I'm pretty sure they're advanced RCS. Might need to keep those. But I might tool around with the thrusters a little bit. But if you're using the ship right now and want to get it working with Alpha 11, that's really all you got to do is dump in 4 tier 4 CPU blocks. I'm not trying to find a more elegant solution to this to see how it works out. I'm also curious if I could dock this ship up on this carrier here. Might be a little wide, but let's see how we're doing here. Yeah, it is kind of on the wide side. Back it off a little bit. Yeah, with those guns sticking out on the side there. I think I successfully docked it though. But, well, that gives you a bit of an idea on scaling too, how small the little Asteria is compared to this this other behemoth here. It gets a little deceiving sometimes. Sometimes when you look at the ship from a bit of a distance, it's like, oh, it's not that big. Until you start comparing it to other ships, then you realize that, oh yeah, it is pretty big. But yeah, look at that. The Asteria can dock on there. And actually, quite frankly, with 4 CPU blocks on it, it already works. So I will try to find an elegant home for those, and if I could remove the RCS, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to on this design, I would have to do something with thrusters to try to give it more direction, and I'm not sure how I'm going to pull that off. This ship wasn't designed for more front thrusters and things like that. But either way, it will work. And so I'm going to try to update that today as well. And shortly after I get more of these areas mapped out, some other things done, I'm going to have to get back to the, I believe it's going to be called the MCR Draper, which is the asymmetrical smaller carrier. I do need to get that done. It's still at the spot where I showed it last time, so I basically have got a few more areas of the ship to do, and then I got to start getting into some LCDs. Now this ship is going to need a heck of a LCD directory system, and with the new projection LCDs, I think that will be doable pretty decently, because there'll probably be signs over most doors and at foot, elevators and things like that to tell you where you're going and different things like that. So I've done that with other ships. It's just on the scale of this particular ship here, it's going to take more of that stuff yet to get to know your way around. And I'm still kind of learning my way around. kind of. I don't know how else to explain it, but there's just a lot of sections in this ship to get done yet. So I know I said it would be nice to get this out by Christmas, but I have a feeling that that's not doable. There's just too much to do, and then depending on other authors and their time schedules too, and my time schedule as well. Things been taking a little longer than I thought they would. Well, hard to say, but I just need to get some good time on it again. I'll probably mess with the ship some more today as well, and then tomorrow and throughout the week until I can get a lot of these things buttoned up on it. Now, T-Rex is going to be building a custom CV that's going to dock to this front area. I think I might have mentioned that in a past video. So on the author part, that's kind of what he's up to. I believe Red Baron's going to be working on like a farming section, and you see, I keep on debating whether that should be here. I was just trying to do a measurement to see how many like 9x9 plots I could get in this room, or he could get in this room. I kind of want the minimum to be about 100 and some grow plots, probably matching that of the Persis carrier, which I think had 144 grow plots. So ship this size, I think you'd want a pretty big farm with it as well. But yeah, just so many areas to do and so many places to get done yet. It's going to be quite a project moving forward here. But yeah, we'll see this out someday. Someday. If it's by Christmas, that's great, but I don't want to like try to stress everybody out, because I think it's going to be a little bit unrealistic to get that done. Time keeps on going by quicker than you'd think. So, but anyway, that's all I had for you today. I think my next video, I promise I'm gonna leave an area of the ship, well, a lot of areas of the ship, and we'll start working on like a internal room, and I'll do some block work and some texturing just to show you what's going on, kind of my methods again on what I've been doing with each area, and how to map these out and then tweak them. Like even in this area too, I did a lot of block work in here to make some pathing and things like that, and some little blocks around thrusters and stuff like that. But I still got to rip the ceiling apart to to start getting like framework and all kinds of stuff up there. So I got to rip apart the flight deck some. And that's why one of the last things that's going to be done on this ship is texturing of the flight decks, because all that interior area needs to get done first, because so many of these blocks will end up changing, similar to what was done up over here on these chunks here. Now, in this case, I duplicated one chunk 4 times, which did save some time. So I made like one area here and then copied it, but I'm going to mix it up here in the front part of the hangar, so I didn't want to copy that again. And but this is kind of what I mean by messing with the blocks on the hangar, like on the flight deck. All these blocks were swapped. You won't be able to notice in the end, but if I were to texture this area now, when I do this kind of work to the rest of the ship, it will totally destroy that texture up there. So might as well work efficiently. So anyway, y'all have a good day. See you later.